Civil Lord here, back again with another review, and today we'll be taking a look at the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Wonder Woman! Okay, I've done that enough over the past year with Wonder Woman figures, but at any rate, this is Wonder Woman as she appears in the mind of the Todd father himself, Mr. Todd McFarlane. That's right, this is the McFarlane-style Wonder Woman. Much like the McFarlane-style Batman I took a look at, heck, that was almost a year ago now. That was a gold label, and then a wide release a little bit later on. This is Wonder Woman as Todd McFarlane designed her, and I gotta tell ya, a lot of Angela vibes with this figure. Unfortunately, I don't have my Angela Marvel Legends handy to compare this to, but I can tell you right now, I could see a lot of people customizing this into an Angela for the new Spawn Universe line, even though that line is super massive and I think a little bit too tall for this particular figure to really scale well with. You could still use her with the Mortal Kombat Spawn, though, so I guess there is that. Either way, getting into the meat and taters of this review, here comes the Collectible Trading Card. Which, shout out to T-Biz for nailing that impression about a week ago now in his top 20 figures of 2021. Is that the right side, or is this? I don't know. I hope it's at least the right card. At any rate, there's the back. Pause and read that if you want. I hope that's the top. If not, there you go. I can't see what I'm doing. There you go. There's the card. Looks cool. This figure. Now, I was really looking forward to this figure, and I gotta tell you, for the most part, it doesn't disappoint. It is a really solid release, but I still think I'm partial to the death metal version of Wonder Woman that McFarlane Toys put out the past year. I just think I like that one a little bit more aesthetically, but this one is a close second. I like it more than the Last Night on Earth, even with the Dr. Fate helmet, which I do also have now. Shout out to the old man for that. But we'll talk about that a little bit more during the comparisons. But other than the Collectible Trading Card, she does come with a stand, which we're used to seeing in this line. It's just a stand with a peg on it. And then she also comes with her mighty sword. This is a big old honkin' buster sword if I ever seen one. It's almost as big as she is. Yeah, this thing's absolutely massive. You can have it in her hand like this too, and have it kind of resting on the ground, which I almost did, but it's a really cool sword. A little bit thick in the handle. I think it's a bit too wide for the hand, but you can get her to hold it. She will hold it, just loosely. And then she also has a shield here. Slips right off. I will say, opening mine, part of it came unglued. So I'm going to have the old man put a dab of glue on that. Unless this part of the handle is supposed to pop out to make it easier. But it seems to me like that's supposed to be glued on. And it's not really that hard to slide onto the arm once you rotate this gauntlet around. So that just needs a dab of glue. No cry, no foul. It probably just came unglued or something. But other than that, she also comes with her Lasso of Truth, which hangs right on her belt there, but you could put it in her hand if you want. Let's putting this back in here, if I can. There we go. It sits really nice and snug in there, so I do appreciate that. It will not fall out very easily on you. But taking a look at Wonder Woman here, she got some nice boobies. Let's just address the elephant in the room. Lots of nice sculpted detail. I think it could have used a little bit more paint because there is like a belly button sculpt here, and it does not appear to be painted. So that kind of sucks, but lots of really nice sculpted paint. What she does have. Yeah, it seems to me like this was supposed to be like a bare back here, or it's just like super skin tight spandex. I don't know, I can't really tell, but it looks to me like this is supposed to be, maybe not, maybe it's just supposed to be the outfit, but it doesn't look too bad, but it is relatively smooth compared to the rest of the costume here, so I'm not entirely sure if this is supposed to be just a shirt underneath or if that's supposed to be exposed skin, but maybe Warner Bros. Had to be like, hey, cover her up a little bit, man, jeez. But I do really like this figure. This is a cool look for Wonder Woman, well, Princess Diana. I'm not crazy about the high heel feet on the figures lately, though. These are a pain in the butt. Just because she is very hard to stand with those. If you can just... Okay, sure, now you want to stand. That said, she does have really nice tight joints in the feet, so that probably helps. But as far as articulation on this figure goes, she does have rotation in the head. It works pretty well. Get a lot of good range out of that. Some tilt, some rotation. She does have, again, the Angela kind of wing things. They are soft, so they at least won't break, but I think they're a bit too soft. I would have liked them a little bit stiffer. Again, the Death Metal Wonder Woman, her crown piece is a little bit on the stiffer side. But other than that, her shoulders go out to the side pretty far. I don't think these shift up, really. Oh, they do. They're attached to the bicep. Okay. So they will get out of the way for the most part. You can probably push them up a little higher if you want, but that works fine. They do rotate forward and back. No bicep cut that I can see. This band piece on her arm appears to be a separate piece. I did not know that. So that's good to know. But she does have elbow rotation, which does give you like 90, so that's not terrible. That's better than some Marvel Legends with that same style articulation. But she does have rotation there. Her gauntlets will rotate around. Her wrists, now I had to heat up the hands on mine because they were super duper stuck in the end joint here. This rotation was super duper stiff and didn't want to work right out of package, so I did have to heat that up. But she does have the ball hinge wrists, and they do work fine now. Hands seem... maybe they're right. They almost seemed a bit small for a second there, but they seem okay. Diaphragm joint, of course, can crunch back really, really well. Crunch forward. Actually, she's got a decent crunch for one of these, so that's cool. I dig that. It also rotates around like that. Not too shabby. Does tilt side to side really well. She does have kind of a rubber overlay over top of her here, but you can get to the waist pretty easy and get a little bit more crunch out of that. So I do like that. She does have probably the best torso articulation out of any Wonder Woman we've gotten in this line, so that's a plus. Hips kick out to the side pretty well. You can get a right angle out of that. She does have this little loop here for her sword, which I'll probably keep in there. But she does have a thigh cut that works pretty well too. She's got a double joint at the knee, which will give you decent range, but be careful about the spikes on the back there. You don't want to mess the paint up. Jeez, I don't think that's going to go anymore right now. No, that seems to be as far as that's going to go. Oh, there we go. Had to get some traction, but you can get a really good bend out of that. Gee whiz. One thing I could say about McFarlane DC figures is most of them, not all, but most, really nice knee joints. I love that. She does have the ankle hinge as well, and the whole rotation and whatnot in there as well. And then she's got toe joints, which are... Okay, I'm sorry. Even if you like toe joints, you have to admit those are stupid. Okay. And then she's got peg holes at the bottom of the feet, or her little circle stand there. So, you know, it's the McFarlane style Wonder Woman. You either like it or you don't. This is a figure I could see people buying and people passing on. I think it's cool. You know, it's a nice kind of concept line. I hope we get to see some other characters. I'd like to see a Joker, to be honest with you, or a Superman maybe to complete the Trinity. So you have a really awesome Todd Father Trinity. Trilogy, gee whiz. But, speaking of her sword here, big old Buster sword, you can slip it right into this loop here. It will go in without a hitch for the most part. There you go. And you can have her sword on her hip. I think that's probably how I'm going to display her. I like the sword. She looks awesome with the sword, but it's a little bit cumbersome. And then if you rotate the gauntlet around and you straighten the wrist out, you can slide the shield on. No problem. It is not that difficult to... I will say that one piece being detached on mine definitely helps me figure out which way this is supposed to go on. There you go. And, you know, it's not even popping off when I plug this shield in, so that's a plus, at least. It looks like it's not unglued when it's attached to the figure, but I'm probably just going to have that glued down a little bit with some super glue, fix that right up. But yeah, this is definitely a contender for one of my top multiverse figures of the year. I think it's a really cool look for Wonder Woman. Although I do think the death metal one, as far as the aesthetic goes, just does it for me a little more. But with that being said, we get that one out. And the Last Night on Earth one, actually. And take a look at some comparisons. First up for your Wonder Woman comparison, here is the Todd McFarlane style Wonder Woman next to the Last Night on Earth and Death Metal Wonder Woman figures we've gotten over the past year. And I gotta tell ya, the Death Metal one's still my favorite, but I really like this Todd McFarlane style one. And you guys know how I thought of the Last Night on Earth one. It wasn't really my thing. It was a cool figure. And even with the Dr. Fate helmet, which I will argue is probably a little bit nicer than even the Injustice 2 Dr. Fate helmet that we got with the Dr. Fate figure, I still think this figure is a little bit lacking, just a little bit. That and the pins on it aren't the best. But you guys know me, I don't really mind if a figure has pins, but it should at least match the color of the part it's pegging into. That would just make things look a little bit better aesthetically as far as I'm concerned. But getting this one out of here, here is the Todd style Batman from, well, this is the gold label version, but there you go. And man, wouldn't it be nice if we got a Superman and a Joker in 2022? That'd be really cool to see. Just to complete the Trinity and have a villain for them to all kick the crap out of. That'd be really awesome. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll see something like that in the near to distant future. We are getting a Rebirth Clayface, though, so your boy's over the moon about that, because that old Mattel Clayface, not the DC Superheroes one, but the Collect and Connect one, yeesh. And last, but certainly not least, we have our two regulars, the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibulus, and the 11th Spawn, who, as usual, towers over everyone. Sorry, Diana, but you're just a tad too short to ride this roller coaster. So with that being said, time to wrap things up. Some final thoughts. Overall, and while I know the Todd McFarlane-inspired designs for the DC Universe are not something for everyone, I really like this figure. I think it's probably one of the more dynamic female figures we've gotten in the Multiverse line over the past year, just in its entirety. Because I gotta tell you, a lot of the female figures, they're a little bit on the stiff side. I can't do a whole lot with them. And as much as I love the Death Metal Wonder Woman, probably even more so than this figure, I can't really do this pose with that figure. So I gotta give it up to this one, because I think it is a really solid addition to the Multiverse line. And if you have the McFarlane style Batman, it's a nice companion piece for that. It makes me look forward to other Todd McFarlane inspired designs in this line, like, again, a Superman, a Joker, a Lex Luthor would be cool. I'd really like to see a Todd McFarlane inspired Swamp Thing or Etrigan, to be honest with you. I think those are more his wheelhouse. Todd's always been the guy when it comes to drawing some crazy looking monsters, and I think if he were to try his hand at making his own version of the Demon or the Defender of the Green, we'd get something really, really cool out of it. Let me know what you guys think of that in the comments below. But with that being said, I would highly recommend you pick this figure up. If you're at all a fan of Todd McFarlane or the Multiverse line, I think it's a nice addition to the line as a whole. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And if you are so inclined, please hit that notification bell so you know whenever I upload more reviews like this one, because we've got to show that algorithm who's boss, right? And if you haven't already, hit me up on Instagram at Overlord Productions. But as always, keep the comment civil. The world sucks enough as it is. And until next time, yes, I'm actually utilizing the toe hinge, so I guess my own hypocrisy knows no bounds. But until next time, with that being said, I'll catch you guys later.